updating is a very important editing tool. On Cobalt, we have an update key on the face panel, and we can use that to update cues or presets in the main playback or on other playbacks. We can use it to update presets on the master playbacks, and we can use it to update through the direct selects in version 7.2 and beyond. The real basics of updating are that you want to make a change to a look or something that you're currently looking at and make that change live. So that means without opening up a blind editor like the preset list or sequence list editor. So in this case, let's do something simple, like turn on our scrollers. And I'll put them in a new color, something that we'll notice. When I hit the update key by itself, it defaults to wanting to update the look that's in the A fader of my main playback. If I'm happy with this change, I just hit the update key again, and now the lights with the scrollers on them have been updated into preset 1001. We can double check that by going back and then going forward. And you can see now that those lights have been added to that preset in that fader. The other thing I could do, so we'll get rid of the look from the main playback, is I can bring up the exact same look, for example, on a master. You'll notice the scrollers are in a completely different color in this case. I could say in this case that I want them, instead of being this nice purple color, to be a spicy amber color. Oh, that's not so spicy. To be a deeper yellow color. So I make that change. And now I can just hold update and hit the master key for that look. And I'm offered a dialog to confirm updating, in this case, preset 801, which is in master number 1. And now that look contains those lights in that color. The other thing I can use the update key for is to update direct selects. This is true in version 7.2 and beyond. And very simply, if I turn those scroller lights back on, for example, and I make an adjustment to their color by dialing something new in, like something completely different. There. And I'm going to leave it in this case so that we can actually see the change happen. Remember, I used that yellow color before, and it gave me a nice yellow color because that's how I recorded it. In this case, I'm going to update it to this look just to show you the function. Update yellow. And I get the dialog that asks if I want to make this change. Because I've only selected some of the lights, not all of the lights in this particular palette, I'm offered the chance to merge this change with existing data, or I can change that option to replace it completely with this lovely mix of white and pink. But we're just going to leave it the way it is and hit modify. And now when I go through my colors on my direct selects for these particular scrollers, when I hit yellow, I don't get yellow anymore. I get that lovely pink and white stripy thing. So this is how the update key can be used to update looks in the main playback, update content on a master playback, or update palette information, for example, on the direct selects. Related to doing simple updates is the idea of being able to take information either from the current look and update it back into other presets or cues you've already recorded, or the idea of being able to pull data that you've already recorded up into the live state and update it into the current look. So we're going to look next at this selective recording function that allows you to pull intensity or attribute data from the current state on stage and push it into another recorded state, or vice versa. So very quickly, we're sitting here in our preset 1001. We have the fade to black in the next preset. We have our green spiral look in 1002, and then I've got a new look in preset 1010, which is just very simple, the moving lights in open white and the scrollers in red. So here I am sitting in this look, and I think to myself, this red color on the scrollers would look great back in preset 1001. There's two different ways to do this. One is to push this data back into that previously recorded look using a selective record function, or to pull the information from 1010 into 1001 when you're sitting in 1001. We're going to push the data at this point. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to select my group of scrollers because I'm only interested in the color of the scrollers right now. Well, that's their only parameter, so that's the only thing I can push in this particular type of light. And what I want to do right now is instead of saying 1001 record, which would take this whole look and record it over my preset 1001, I want to take that number 1001 as the target, my lights are selected, and I hit record attributes. When I press record and the attributes key together, I'm telling the system two things. That I only want to record data for the currently selected channels. So in this case, I'm only talking about the scroller channels in red on the stage, I mean. And I'm telling them that I want to record for selected channels that data into the target that I selected at the beginning, 1001. This is all information that I see in the dialog that's on the screen right now. Record to other preset 1001, all parameters for the selected channels will be recorded. And then I'm given the option to either merge this data with an existing preset, which means the moving lights wouldn't be touched, or to replace the existing preset with only the attribute information from the currently selected channels. I just want to change the scrollers to red, so I'm going to merge with existing. We'll leave the moving lights alone, and I hit modify. I get a message that the attributes have been recorded, but they've been recorded someplace else, someplace other than where I'm sitting on stage at the moment. So I'm going to go to 1001, go to, and you'll see now we have our pink and orange gobos, but now instead of the scrollers being white, the scrollers have maintained that red color that we've recorded using the record attributes command. If I want to do a similar thing but do it with intensity values, I don't use the record attributes command, I use record channel. If I want to go the other direction, so let's go back to 1010. So you can see that when we go into 1010 that the moving lights are in a different focus position, and they also have color and gobo information dropped out. They're on open white. Let's say that I want half of my moving lights, in this case 71 through 74, to do that thing they were doing in preset 1001. So instead of pushing information from my live state back to a pre-recorded look, what I want to do is I want to recall information that I've already stored but isn't being played back right now. The way we do that is through the fetch function. So I'm going to set the target as 1001, and I'm quickly going to fetch focus, color, and beam. And now you can see that half of the lights have recalled the pan tilt and the color and the gobo and the zoom and the iris and all the other parameters of the light and brought them forward into my current stage look. That's how you recall information from other recorded states. And I can continue doing this for other channels if I want to mix and match pieces of other presets or cues. Once I'm happy with what I've got, then I can just use the update function as before and update the current look with those changes.